Alright, it's about 10:30 on the 8th of August. Leaving Pueblo. Once in a while I'll try this experiment. I'll turn on Google Maps and check the little show bike routes. This is nice. They basically gave me a whole lane to myself with a divider. I can imagine everybody else is mad because they only get one lane to drive on now, but it's a one-way. And there's a few of these that are going to go all the way through town, so keeps me off the freeway. Also, I fixed my mirror this morning with more epoxy and it snapped off immediately, so I'm going to have to work on that again later. So I just kind of keep my head moving. I keep looking over here where the mirror should be, but I can't see anything. So anyway, feels good to get out of the hotel room. It's just, I end up unpacking everything to find what I need, and then the room is chaos and the bike trailer takes up all the room and you can't see what you're looking at, and it's just awful. So yep, on the road. Looks like a good day. Did you know videos like these are supported entirely from donations by people like you? It's true. If you'd like to help out and keep my wheels rolling, keep me wheels rolling, man, go ahead and click on the link down in the description, or I'll put something up on screen. You guys can check it out. You can do PayPal, you can do YouTube members every month, or you can do a YouTube super thanks, the little heart-shaped thing down next to the like button. You can throw me a few bucks every now and then. That would be great. Help me buy lately tires and tires and tubes, or maybe food like Cliff Bars or cheeseburgers or something like that. Does make life a little more bearable out on the road. But anyway, as always, thanks for your support, and stay tuned. Back to the show. Honestly, I'm not exactly a fan of the ducks, but this will make somebody happy, so there you go. Kind of downtown Pueblo. Alright, moving on. The downside of bicycle directions is they try to get you to go on little paths like this. It's not exactly trailer friendly, but you do your best. Alright, we got 90 miles of Colorado left. Sun finally poked out again. We're getting about 150 watts of charge, which is 3 times more than I ever had yesterday. Looking like a really good day. So 90 miles left. What I'm hoping to do is ride 50 miles today and 50 tomorrow. That'll put me into New Mexico. There's 2 really good climbs, so if I can get one done today and one tomorrow, that'll give you a chance to rest in between. So basically, I'm just going to push as hard as I can today and see where we end up. Right now I've got a tailwind, it feels like, so that's good. I don't think that's going to last though. Well, I almost made it to the top, and then my chain jumped off the sprocket. It's a little bit annoying. I stopped for, I swear, an hour and a half. There's a rest stop back in that town back there. Had some really nice shade and a picnic table, and I was just chilling out, but I'm like, well, crap. I can't stop at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's a campsite about maybe another 3 hours from here I'm going to try to get to. I don't know, get to a campsite, then it's legit, but then you got to pay money. If you just stay in the ditch, then it's free, Anyway, the engine was getting warm too. Plus I was just dribbling sweat everywhere, so. Alright, try again. Got about 20 miles to the campsite, I think, still. That looks pretty bad. According to that, the wind is coming from that direction. I would so put one of those in my front yard. That's so awesome. Anyway, it's a headwind from the side, so crossing headwind, not super hard, just enough to slow you down. We're going up and down the rolly hills. I think I've got the worst hill out of the way, but you know, whatever. Still getting a little bit of solar. Trying to use up some battery, just trying to get there, so. Anyway. It felt like it was going to rain a couple times, so I put the phone away. Then I was trying to remember when I was turning, so now it's looking a little better again. Yeah, whatever. Keep going. That's a good abstract. It's about 8 o'clock at night. I got here about 7, I think. It was not an easy way. This is a state campground, $36, but has electric hookups, so I'm going to try to charge the bike. I've got power, that part is no problem. I'm just having trouble getting the charger to work right now. I think it might be because I pulled the battery down too low, so I'm messing around with that. Let's see if I can tweak it. If not, the fallback plan is solar charge it in the morning and get it up to a point where then the normal charger will work. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing where the solar charger doesn't have a low voltage cutoff, and I think the other charger does. So it sees it, but it's not starting. You know, you can force it to start, and it says it started, but it's not going. When it's up higher, it'll just take off and go. So I pulled it down into about 42 or something like that, and it's a 53-volt battery, so that's not ideal. I knew I was pulling it down pretty hard coming in here, but I was like, well, I'm 10 miles from camp, and I wanted to get here before dark, and yeah, so anyway. I don't think I hurt the batteries, it's just that the charger is being too careful, so worst case, we'll just do it in the morning. Once it starts working, I can get a full charge in 2 hours, so looks like sunset over there. I didn't really see what direction I'm looking right now. The sky is brighter over there, so actually the way the trailer is sitting right now is good. So the sunrise will come from over yonder. Yeah, it's about right because there's the moon, I think. So somewhere over there. Saw a deer in the park when I was coming in. That was kind of cool. Anyway, normal RV kind of stuff that I'm not used to. This is officially you're supposed to park on the pavement, but the cord didn't reach that far and I didn't bring an extension cord, so normal hookup. Just pick your plug in, turn on your breaker, and you're good to go. I might plug a phone charger into there later. Anyway, let's see what it says. It's not going backwards. I'm going to let it sit for a while. Maybe it'll slowly pick up. I don't think it is, though. The other idea is I could set up a new profile that's a lower voltage and see if that'll work. So, yeah, anyway. As always, I end up have to unload half of the trailer just to get to where the charger is because I don't use it very often. That might be something to do on the next bike, is have the charger, make a spot on the bike that I could plug the charger into and just leave it there or something. Yeah, anyway. Had a broken mirror again today. I tried epoxy in it a couple days ago and I got a day out of it, and this morning I broke it off again and tried to epoxy it and it didn't work. The way it's broken, it's just in a weird spot, so kind of like having a mirror, but it's almost useless at the same time, so yeah. Anyway, deal with that later. So that's camp. I'm going to set up the cot over by the table, I think. Kind of torn. It's like, well, leave half the stuff over there and half over here. I did figure out a trick, though, that I'm going to try again. This is one of my Harbor Freight tool batteries that I put the USB charger adapter on. It's kind of a cool thing to have, so I'm using that to power the phone. I've got 6 of these because I couldn't mail them home. And I've already used up 3 of them, and I don't have a way to charge them. But what I was thinking, when I was running this before, I just plugged power connectors into the blades here, and that's how I used that. That's what I used to run the bike, and I know the solar would charge those then. So what I might do is I tried it last night at the hotel, but I didn't think about it as much as I should have. The bike charger, I made an adapter that would plug into those, so I might be able to get that to work. And if nothing else, if I can't get the bike to charge, maybe I can get that to charge, and then I can use that to charge the phone with later. Yeah, kind of a weird thing, but should work. Even if I charge them half full so I don't blow them up, then we'd be okay. Anyway, I was not planning on stopping here, but I realized this was a good spot halfway between where I wanted to be, kind of thing. Oh. I forgot I shaved this morning. That's always a weird thing the first couple days. It's hideous, hide it. Anyway, still got the hair, just didn't. Yeah, I shaved first thing this morning before I was really awake, and I kind of forgot. Since I was in the hotel, I had access to power. Yeah, it's like, okay, so I got the hotel last night, or Motel 6, for $80, and I had a free shower, right, and a bed and everything. And this cost me $36, and that includes military discount. But it was for a hookup site. If I didn't need hookups, then I would have got one for $28. So it almost makes more sense just to go with the Motel 6. And that was something I realized on the Alaska trip. When I was up north, I could camp anywhere. There was campsites just everywhere, and they're like $15 a night or something like that. And in the Yukon, it was 15, and you had all the firewood you could burn and lots of water, and it was really good. As I got further south, it was all RV parks, and the state campsites were farther and farther apart. And I realized that I could just go hit a Motel 6 and not screw around with camping. So then I got to thinking, the next trip, if I kept doing motorcycle traveling, I could go with a lot less gear, because then I didn't need camping stuff. I could go hit a Denny's once in a while if I wanted to hit a Safeway and buy groceries, but not go wild camping all the time. Just go hit a Motel 6 when you wanted to, and you'd be set. Then you don't need a tent, sleeping bag. Probably wouldn't need the stove then, right? So that's kind of how I was starting to look at it after the Alaska trip. It almost didn't make sense to go camping because it was so hard to find a campsite. And down here, in the 48 states, there's so many people with so many trailers that you couldn't just go find a tent site, the way you could up in Alaska. It was just so many. There's just so many campsites up there. It's just completely different. So, yeah. Now on the bike trip, I don't have the range, but it would be an interesting thing to look at. I might play with this later. Make a super lightweight bike, keep the solar, keep the electrics, but not take the camping gear, and just scale it way back. Because if I could go 100 miles a day, which I think I could do if I didn't have so much stuff. So don't do the trailer, just put solar right on the bike, for instance, like what Octay did on the Sun trip. A couple of the guys didn't have trailers, they just had solar attached to the bike or the trike. So if you could do 100-mile days and hit a motel, if you can get them for $50 a night instead of a campsite for $30 a night, and if you can go twice as far, then you'd need less campsites, and your whole setup just gets easier then. Yeah. That just makes your head hurt. Anyway, so I'm gonna go play around with the charger a little bit, see if I can figure it out. If nothing else, at least so I can charge these guys. Because if I can charge those, I can do that overnight. Have a couple of them ready. I gotta check miles. I'll do that real quick, and then I'll come back, and then we'll edit the video, and I think I can get it uploaded still. I should be out of Colorado tomorrow. That was one of the thoughts. Man, that was about noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. I only rode for about 4 hours, and then I stopped at a rest stop, and I was getting hot already. It was just, And since I had a full charge on the battery, I was pushing it a lot harder because I didn't have the tailwind that I had the day before. Plus, I was climbing instead of going downhill, so I knew I was going to use a lot of power. So I thought, well, let me just run fast and then stop and take a break. So I did that, got to a rest stop, and left the bike out in the sun, and I took a break in the shade, and it was nice. I sat there. I didn't even look at the time because I didn't have my phone with me. I left it on the bike because it was almost dead. It wasn't charging right for some reason. And I just like, well, you know, I sat there in the shade on a park bench, and I didn't move for about an hour. It just felt so good to sit still and not do anything, right? And I'm like, well, I can't just sit here from, you know, noon until night and then camp overnight under the no camping sign. You know, probably eventually somebody's going to get mad at me, right? And that was a pretty busy rest stop. There was a lot of people coming through, so you would probably be noticeable if you were sitting there too long. Anyway, so that's when I found this place, and I'm like, well, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, it's about 2 o'clock by the time I left, or 3 o'clock. And it was going to be 30 miles from there to here, on top of what I'd already done. So I bet I did 60 miles. That's why I was just thinking I want to go look it up real quick. So this was going to be a stretch, and it was. And then I had 2 flat tires on the trailer. Ended up putting the run flat, the cart tire from Harbor Freight on the last mile. And I'm like, I do not want to put another tube on there, so I slapped that sucker on there, and I'm like, okay, got me here. I don't know, I didn't go far enough to really see if I liked it or not, but at least I knew it worked for temporary, and that was kind of one of my thoughts, is I could use that for an emergency spare, kind of like, you know, when you got your donut spare on your car, and then when you're in camp, you spend the time and fix the wheel, or, you know, put a new tube on it or something. So now I've got the restroom over there, or I've got water spigots around here somewhere. I'll take one of my gallons and go fill it up with water, and then I can sit here at the picnic table with my gold pan that I talked about, and check the tubes. I was sitting here drinking beer and just screwing off in the motel, and last night I looked at the tubes and I'm like, I don't even want to do that right now. I'll do it in the morning. Then I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not getting up. So, time I got all packed up, I looked at the tubes. I'm like, I'll do them later, you know. And then I had 2 flat tires today. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna run out of tubes. Anyway, we're in the golden hour now. Well, actually, the sun's down. That looks kind of cool. Okay, let's see how far we got. All right, 56 miles. So not quite as far as I thought, but still a pretty solid day, considering I wanted to stop halfway through the day. And I was really tempted to do a short day today. I just like, I didn't want to do a long day. And it was going okay, but I really hit the battery hard. So that kind of makes sense. I was pushing it about as hard as I could. So yeah. But where yesterday I was coming downhill, today I went uphill. So I climbed, I think, over 1,500 feet, something like that. So I'm over 6,000 feet now, which is good because the pass that I have to go over tomorrow is about 8,500 feet. It's actually higher than the Continental Divide was, which seems wrong, but just the way it works out. So I don't have to climb like 5,000 feet, you know, because I'm already at 6,200 feet, something like that. So it's still a 2,000 foot climb, but when I came out of Death Valley, I climbed 4,000 feet, and this is a lot more gradual. So, yeah. Anywho, so I'm going to get the phone charging and see if I can figure out the battery charger. If not, we'll mess with it tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure it's like, well, solar will charge, and then it'll pick up after that, probably. I don't remember what time I have to check out, but it's probably like noon or something like that. So I want to get out as soon as I can, but I need power, so yeah, since I paid for it, I might as well take advantage of it. Yay! Alright, that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching the videos and all of the support. Welcome to all the new subscribers, and thanks for coming along. And one mosquito. Bye.